You're listening to Galaxy of Film.
Alright guys, welcome back to the brain-ups of Galaxy of Film. I'm of course your host Max, joined by none other than my co-host Akari. How's it going, man?
It's going pretty well for the most part. You know, usual thing, school and staying caught up.
Yeah, school's kicking my fucking ass too, so I feel you.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah,
I feel you, dude. We're sipping on a nice tangerine LaCroix today, so staying hydrated, that's all that's important, I guess. And we're talking about some interesting movies this week. We're talking about none other than some Rian Johnson with his first feature film, Brick, and the newest entry in the Knives Out series, Wake Up Dead Man. But before I do, let's dive into announcements, news, other media, the whole shebang for our weekly listeners. You guys know what's up if you've been here at this point. For announcements, we've already kind of talked about this last week. Dakari, your next film, For the Love of Film, coming out very, very soon. But next week, we're going to have the release date officially announced here on the podcast, so stay tuned for that, guys. And also, a little film I directed that Dakari produced with our buddy Naima. Would You Like Fries for That has a sneak preview available now. Link down below. Check that out, because it's looking pretty fucking good, dude. Like, you've seen the rough cut, Dakari. We've had meetings. Yeah. Like, I'm feeling confident, dude. I'm feeling confident. It's pretty damn good. So, stay tuned for more information, more dates to come soon for those. Let's go ahead and waste no time and dive straight into the news this week, dude, because we got our Oscar nominations. This is the first season in a while at Galaxy of Film where we're kind of talking Oscars again because awards bait is no longer happening for a third season. So now that we're not kind of having to be a little shush shoo shoo about the whole thing. Sinners, dude, got 16 nominations, making it the most nominated film in history, which is kind of fucking crazy. Like, well deserved, obviously. We've praised that movie nonstop since we've talked about it. But, like, that kind of came out of nowhere for me. I wasn't expecting a big bomb like that this year, dude. You know?
I did.
So, yeah, let me hear your thoughts on this one, dude. Let me hear your thoughts. Are we predicting Michael B. for Best Actor? Are we predicting this for... I think this is going to get Best Picture for sure.
That's what I'm thinking too. That's what I'm thinking, and that's what I want to happen.
Okay.
You know?
Do you think Michael B. Jordan's going to get the Oscar? Because I don't.
That's what I want to happen.
Okay, so you're pro Michael B. Jordan in this case. Okay.
That's what I want to happen.
See, I am very much I'm rooting for Timothée Chalamet, dude. When it comes to Marty Supreme.
That's fair.
To me, I connect. Obviously, we'll talk more about this when we get to doing our top 10 of 2025, and then next week as well, because we'll be talking about One Battle After Another, and that's kind of like the last movie of last year's lineup I didn't get to see yet. So for me, it's Sinners and Marty Supreme right now, and I don't know, dude. I'm not a racist vampire, so I don't, I connect a little bit more with Marty Supreme on this like quest of like following or pursuing a dream at all costs kind of thing. I love the sacrifice of that. And like, while I think I've seen all the recent movies Michael B. Jordan has done technically, I've also seen a lot of Timothée Chalamet's recent stuff, with the exception of that Bob Dylan movie. And like, I don't know, I've never been the biggest Michael B. Jordan fan, number one. Not dogging on him. I've seen some awful performances from him, but I've also seen some incredible stuff from him, especially when he has full artistic control, like in Creed 3, for example. I really loved seeing his vision brought to life with that film. I just feel like Michael B. Jordan has, while Sinners is currently his best performance, I don't feel like it's the peak of his potential, if that makes sense.
What do you feel like the peak of his potential would be?
I don't think I've gotten that performance yet out of Michael B. Jordan.
Not even in Fruitvale Station?
No, I haven't seen that. And I'll see it at some point. But point being, though, like, I don't feel like I've seen that moment from Michael B. Jordan just yet. You know what I'm saying? And like with Timothée Chalamet, I've seen the hunger over the last several years towards this goal specifically, and I've seen the leaps in quality, and seeing him kind of fall into one with a character like Marty Mauser in Marty Supreme is it's on a level of like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man kind of performance, where like it felt like he was born for that role. You know what I'm saying? And like I feel like because that seamlessness is there for me, while I'm rooting for Sinners for Best Picture, Chalamet has the edge for me in terms of Best Actor, in terms of that nomination. However, I think Michael B might win it, to be real with you. And I say that because, was it the Golden Globes that Chalamet won, or was it the whatever? I think it was Golden Globes, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, it was Golden Globes, yeah.
You know, usually it means whoever wins the Golden Globes doesn't get the Oscar. Not in all cases, of course, but like that's usually like the telltale sign. So I don't know. I think there's a very strong fighting chance. I will just be disappointed if Michael B. Jordan gets this award and I don't see anything better from him than Sinners. Because like I said, I just don't think we've gotten that from him yet still. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's hit a peak necessarily. And like Michael B. Jordan, for whatever reason, and he's maybe it's because he's been just such a popular actor in the last decade or so, or last 8 years, ever since like 2018 of Black Panther, because you know we kind of had to recover a little bit with Fantastic. I guess actually ever since Creed. Now that I mentioned it, going back a little bit further, so 2015, I guess last decade or so, yeah. I don't know. I hear a lot of people who try to put Michael B. Jordan on this like Denzel kind of like elegant level of an actor. You know what I'm saying? Where they have this massive repertoire and reputation and have just kind of achieved like this like De Niro kind of like legacy in the industry. And it's just so weird to me because like while I see the potential and I see the great things he's accomplished in film and within his performances, like I just don't think he's kind of earned that legacy spot yet, you know? Like
I understand.
And I feel like out of all the things, if anything he's proved of his career, it's that he has the longevity to last in this industry. So like, I don't know, dude. We might be looking at 20, 30 years from now on this podcast, whenever we get The Father Part 2 star Michael B. Jordan or whatever. You know, we get like that kind of like age performance when I get that kind of feeling. I don't know. But I clearly think he's going to be in this industry very long. And that's kind of where I'm at with this one. I don't know. So how are you feeling about this one? You said you're pro Michael getting the acting award for this one. How do you feel about Chalamet and Marty Supreme? Because you finally watched that this week too, by the way.
Yeah, I did. You know, thankfully my dad, he had like a discount on his ticket and whatnot.
Gotta love it.
So yeah, so he invited me to go see it.
Okay.
And you know, yeah, it was, you know, my first Safdie brother. Well, technically not, but
well, so you saw Uncut Gems in theaters, right? Yeah.
No, I didn't see Uncut Gems in theaters.
Oh no, you waited for the Criterion, didn't you? Didn't you see that super late?
No.
Am I tripping?
I saw it super late. I saw it maybe like a year later when it went on Netflix.
Oh, was it Brandon who saw it on Criterion then, I think?
Probably,
okay, I think it was someone in the group chat saw it was stupid late, and it blew my mind. But okay, continue. Sorry for that.
Yeah, man. So, you know, this movie did feel a lot like Uncut Gems. It felt a lot like it. You know what I'm saying? And I really enjoyed how super complex Timothy's character was, and how well he really pulled all those complexities off. Like it's a very layered and nuanced performance, and I feel like he nailed it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. With Michael B. Jordan, I feel like, first of all, I'm pro Sinners. Okay, I want Sinners to win very particular awards. You know what I'm saying? And somebody must have listened because I said that if Sinners isn't front runner at the Oscars, I won't be watching. And it's 16 nominations. Good God.
That's just
So
for you to
I'm
Dakari.
gonna,
I heard.
so I'm gonna be watching it now. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be watching it now. Um, yeah, no, it's just like I feel like that's what it is. You know, that's just a personal preference thing for me. I really love Timothy Chalamet and Marty Supreme, but you know, Michael B. Jordan performed in my favorite movie of the year. So
Fair
you know what I'm
enough.
saying? And it was just a lot of just as much as Timothy as Marty. There's a lot of nuances and complexities that you have to do for this role too, specifically based on the fact that it's a fucking dual role. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And you really feel like Smoke and Stack are two different people because you can tell Stack has a bit of a screw loose in his head. You know what I'm saying? He's a little bit on the crazy side.
Let me
While
ask you
Smoke is
this, if you don't mind, real quick. Sorry to
yeah,
interject, but well, before I forget about this, while we're talking about the
yeah.
duality of the two performances, do you feel like anyone else has a chance other than Chalamet of pulling this under the rug from Michael B. Jordan?
Oh shit.
Because who else is nominated for this? Dude, I only saw them and just kind of like put the book down.
I don't know. Shit. I didn't.
Hold on, guys. Sorry, we're unprepared.
I mean, well,
DiCaprio,
I would say, yeah. I would Leo's up there.
Leo's up there. I mean, okay, I haven't seen that one
Yeah,
still. Wagner Moura, dude. I have not seen The Secret Agent, but I've seen him in
I haven't
Narcos.
seen it.
And he's Pablo Escobar in Narcos, and he is fucking incredible in that. I am so
Okay.
glad he's a Brazilian actor. So glad he's getting recognition, dude. He deserves the nomination. Ethan Hawke, I fucking can't
Hmm.
stand. So I don't think Leo's winning this, dude, whatsoever. Wagner got the
He might not,
nomination.
but
He's
he's
too
up there
unheard
for
of.
me.
It's either Timothy or Michael. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll see. It's either going to be a full center sweep or it's going to be real close of some of these awards. We'll see. Either way, listeners will be able to hear our thoughts about it. We'll talk right
Yeah.
about Oscars as soon as it's wrapping up. Who knows? Maybe we'll do our live top 10 during the Oscars this year for live recaps or something. A little Oscars party to make up for not having awards debate this year. Maybe something, dude. I don't know. We'll have a good time with it. But let's go ahead and move on to some other things this week. Dakari, I know you're not caught up to these, so I'm not going to give away any spoilers. Don't you worry. But a little bit of other media this week. We got some new Absolute comics. We got Absolute Batman 16 and Absolute Wonder Woman 16. Absolute Batman is the Absolute Wonder Woman crossover. Absolute Wonder Woman is the introduction to Zatanna. Incredible reads this week, guys. Incredible month for comics yet again. But what's really unfortunate is the absolute train wreck of a local comic shop in this fuck-ass town I live in. So I am just so sick of this rude, pretentious, white supremacist loving just asshole of a woman who just refuses to have like any sort of decency to anyone who supports her business. It's so rude. She's rude to me, rude to my girlfriend, rude to my friends. I don't know. I like doing these little like comic mentions ever since we did the Absolute episode, Akari. But like I might have to start just buying comics when I'm in North Carolina. That or like doing a once a month shipping from a comic shop because like I just hate supporting this business. I hate having to see this owner and deal with I had to wait an hour and like 10 minutes to get my comics this week because she just didn't want to put it on the shelf. Just fucking nuts, dude. I've ranted to you so much about this whole situation.
That's crazy.
It's fucking nuts, dude. But regardless, despite it pissing on my day a little bit, great fucking shit in the Absolute universe. Check it out if you guys can, while you're on a first print run still. It's pretty awesome stuff. But that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for other media, because the only other thing I'm doing is something I've talked a little bit about the podcast before, and that's rewatching Shameless Season 1 specifically. Starting Season 2 again soon. Got to watch Season 3 of Shrinking, but we'll hear about that maybe on recent views on Patreon. Who knows, guys? But we're going to go ahead and take a quick little break. When we come back, we're going to go ahead and go over our Stream of the Week, brought to you by none other than Brandon this week. Going to go over our rating system in case you're new to the show. And once the break is over, we're going to go ahead and start discussing some classic Rian Johnson. And introduce our guest for the week, of course, too. Mr. Brian Malone from Drink the Movies. So good to get Uncle Brian back. We'll be right back, guys.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Hey everybody, this is Brandon Messina giving you the stream of the week for this episode of Galaxy of Film. My pick for this episode is Wes Anderson's Grand Budapest Hotel. Now, I'll be honest, this film took me a couple of rewatches to truly appreciate it. It's not that I ever thought the movie was bad in any way, but there was always something about it that left me thinking what the point of watching it was all about. And then that's when I realized that not all movies have to have some heavy theme to be enjoyable. And I can definitely say that this is my favorite Wes Anderson film that he's ever put out. Now, while the film does touch on nostalgia, it relies more on stellar acting performances and an entertaining story above anything else. Ralph Fiennes was outstanding as the hotel concierge. Damn near, I would say, iconic, but the rest of the cast definitely put in excellent performances too. They all buy into the story, and it makes the dry, witty, and occasionally crass humor in the film stand out even more. Shout out especially to Willem Dafoe as the hitman in this movie. Probably had some of the funniest moments in the entire thing. I also love the art and set designs for this movie too. To me, it had that kind of marionette, puppety kind of aesthetic that really appealed to me in some moments watching the movie. Overall, I would definitely recommend at least a watch of this film to truly view Anderson at his peak as a director. Well, this has been your stream of the week, and let's continue with the rest of the podcast.
Our rating system is inspired by the planets from the Star Wars films. From highest to lowest, this is how we do our rankings. Number 5.
Coruscant. The entire planet is one big city.
Number 4.
Bespin. We're pretty far, but I think we can make it.
Number 3.
Hold me like you did by the lake on Naboo.
Number 2.
Set your course for the Hoth system.
And lastly, number 1.
Back to Why does everyone want to go back to Jakku?
All right, guys, and we're back from our break. I want to go ahead and introduce a very special guest star for this week. It has been far too damn long. I mean, he's been coming here since damn near the very beginning of Galaxy of Film, from early on in season 1. We have Uncle Brian from Drink the Movies finally making his triumphant return. How's it going, Brian?
Finally back. I'm doing good now that I'm back in. From the cold, you guys were icing me out. No, I don't. It has been too long. I've done a bunch of these now, but I was trying to think back to when I was on last time, and I think it was literally like last Christmas. Just this year, I think, got away from us, and just schedules and things like that. We had some stuff scheduled and ended up canceling, and then travel and trips and illness and all sorts of things. But we're back together now.
Finally, dude. Finally.
So I'm glad to be here tonight to chat a couple of Rian Johnson films tonight. That's gonna be good.
Yeah, we are talking some Rian Johnson films. Which is funny because Dakari, a couple weeks ago, we were talking about some of the Rian Johnson comments of Kathleen Kennedy leaving Lucasfilm recently. So it's kind of funny that now here we are talking Rian Johnson this week, but not focusing on his contributions to Star Wars. We're focusing on his first feature film, Brick, and also his latest feature film, Wake Up Dead Man, which is the third entry in the Knives Out film series. We covered Knives Out years ago during, I think, season 2 of the podcast. I think you were there for that, weren't you, Brian, for Knives Out?
I don't remember if I was there for that one or not, but yeah, I definitely remember you guys talking about it, way back in the day, because the Knives Out was where it was all at.
Yeah.
When the first Knives Out came out.
Absolutely.
People loved it.
Yeah.
And then went on to do the sequel. I think I might have been on for Glass Onion. I don't know if I was on for.
I was about to say Danilo did an LFG for Glass Onion. And because Danilo claimed that for an LFG, I never got around to watching Glass Onion still. So moving into Wake Up Dead Man, I unfortunately kind of went in this one, a little bit handicapped, if you will, just because I didn't have that knowledge of what happens in the sequel. I heard it's kind of like a big metaphor for how he viewed his experience working with Star Wars and The Last Jedi. I know out of all of the of all the ensemble casts we've had through all the entire series, Glass Onion is the one that kind of intrigues me the most. I need to watch it at some point. But point being, went into Wake Up Dead Man, kind of crippled not seeing the second one. But what's really cool about this, though, I got to see this not only on film, not only on Thanksgiving Day, but I saw this at the New Beverly Theater, which is the theater Tarantino owns in Hollywood. I saw this with our buddy Joe from Believe Me's Pregnant Films. Yeah, dude, this was a fun time being able to experience this in a place where cinema is like really, really appreciated. Like line out the door hour before the movie starts kind of attitude. I believe it was a total like 3 weeks before it hit Netflix, which is pretty cool. Because as we all know, Netflix kind of has these kind of pathetic, theatrical releases just so it kind of makes its qualifications for the Oscar run towards the end of the years. So yeah, I was really happy to kind of go ahead and be part of the crowd to see this in theaters. Dakari, did you catch this in theaters down in Atlanta, or did you watch this on Netflix?
I watched it on Netflix. I wanted to catch the 35 millimeter showing, which was interesting. I didn't expect a 35 millimeter showing for this.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't. But yeah, no, I wanted to catch that, but I couldn't because I was in Florida.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, because you had Christmas or like winter break long as hell. You were there for like a month and a half, dude.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, damn. And Brian, what about you? How did you get a chance to watch Wake Up Dead Man? Was this a Netflix thing for you? Were you cozied up at home?
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get to make it out to the theater because I think that was like the week of Thanksgiving. I think that it was out in the theater.
Correct. Yeah, it was Thanksgiving Day. It dropped. Yeah.
So I wasn't able to make it out to see it. I actually did catch Glass Onion in the theater, and I think Netflix only put it out like for like one show, and I happened to be like home the day that it was, and so I did see that one in the theater. But no, I had to wait until this one hit Netflix. But I watched it the night that it released because I was really interested in it. I caught on to the first Knives Out pretty late. It had been out for a couple of years by the time I saw that, but yeah.
Oh, really?
I saw Glass Onion in the theater, and then I definitely watched the opening night for it. So
the first Knives Out, it was it was all these movies have kind of come out around the same time as like Thanksgiving releases, which has been really fun because it's the first one especially being such a family-oriented film technically. But I remember watching the first one like probably right after Thanksgiving, like gearing up more towards the Christmas season kind of thing. But my Alma like really like fell in love with all the trailers for Knives Out. So that was like an instant 4K buy whenever that eventually came out physically. We watched that several times together at home, which was really fun. But yeah, like I said, I just kind of skipped around with Glass Onion. Dakari, did you get a chance to ever watch that one?
Yeah, I saw it. I caught it on Netflix.
Okay, cool. All right, well, Dakari, I'm also going to have to ask if you wouldn't mind to give the recap for this one, just because it's been like 2 full months since I've seen this movie, which is kind of crazy how time flies by.
2 months since you've seen it?
2 full months at this point, dude. Yeah, it's the 29th.
Dude, okay. No. Yeah. No, it's probably been that long for me, too.
Okay.
It's probably been that long for me.
Well, I believe in you, bud. I believe in you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I would say this is okay. First and foremost, these movies are not direct sequels to one another. I realized that when Glass Onion came out, and I definitely realize it now. Okay, these are not direct sequels. These are pretty much one-off tales. They're kind of like, a James Bond type of,
It's serialized, yeah.
Yeah, it's very much a serialized franchise.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much the adventures or the detective adventures of Benoit Blanc. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what it is. So in this one, he comes across a situation with this young priest who's confident about a crime that has occurred within a church that he chose to volunteer to preach at and serve at. After he just lets loose and discovers the crime and recruits Benoit Blanc, things go awry. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I'm glad that's how you left that recap off, Dakari. That was perfect. That was perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so first things first, Brian, I want to ask how your initial thoughts were of Wake Up Dead Man, because if I remember correctly, the only really time we've discussed Rian Johnson other than Knives Out and Looper has just been us kind of like toying around and tiptoeing around The Last Jedi, because eventually, and we've said it before, and you've given me shit for it before, Brian, eventually we'll get around to covering all the other Star Wars movies. One of these days.
Oh man,
Yeah.
The Last Jedi is gonna be a fun one. That's gonna be a fun.
So eventually we'll have had a Last Jedi episode that's taken like 7 years in the making. But point being,
man,
give us a little bit of a recap for our listeners where you're at with Rian Johnson as a director. What were your initial thoughts after watching Wake Up Dead Man?
Well, it's my thoughts about Rian Johnson as a director are very high. Rian Johnson's an excellent director. I like his films a lot. Wake Up Dead Man, kind of initially like watching it, like it's different kind of in tone and the way that it's structured versus really kind of the first two films. So it was a little bit different like on that. So I found that was interesting, but just kind of initial thoughts were that I thought that it was pretty long.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
I think it's the longest of the three. And I didn't like it as well as the other two, but I think that it is a better film than the other two, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Like, I think that Wake Up Dead Man is better than the other two, but I don't like it as well as the other two.
Fair enough. Okay.
So, but yeah, those were kind of my initial takeaways, and I thought that it was interesting. We'll probably get into some more of the the guts of the story here a little bit, but it felt to me not really like a passing the torch kind of a thing. But the first Knives Out definitely, introduces Benoit Blanc, who comes in as like this force of nature into this house. Glass Onion, Max, you haven't seen it, but Benoit Blanc is there from like the open to the close of this thing, right? Like he's invited to this private island kind of thing. And this one, he comes in a little bit later, and it really is more of the priest's story.
Yeah.
That Benoit Blanc is kind of attaching himself to. So it's just kind of an interesting way to look at Benoit Blanc, because kind of in my head going into it, I'm like, oh, this is going to be like this like ultimate like Benoit Blanc kind of story. And then it wasn't that necessarily. So
sure.
I just thought that was different just to my expectations for the movie.
Okay, interesting, dude. I walked out of this thing and I felt very similar to the way I felt walking out of Halloween Ends and Justice League 2017.
Oh no.
I really found myself trying to justify my feelings and my appreciation towards the experience versus how I liked the movie, because I was seeing it at Tarantino's theater, and just because it was on 35 millimeter and it was Thanksgiving, like it was so many things in the right way for this screening, right?
Do you think Tarantino would have put that Justice League movie in his theater?
No.
Hopefully, one can hope, dude. But yeah, I don't know. Like that first night after when I saw this on Thanksgiving night when I went back to the house, I really tried to convince myself I liked this movie, and just after seeing it, not even an hour later, I'm struggling to even remember what the fuck I just watched, dude. Like it's so all over the place. It's so non-memorable in my opinion. Like I've said it once before in this podcast, and I'll say it again, and I promise I'll say it again when we talk Last Jedi, dude. Rian Johnson can make a pretty ass movie. He knows how to find a cinematographer, dude. But just because your movie is pretty does not mean it's good. And I don't know, this just did not click at all for me. The entire movie itself, it was not memorable whatsoever, other than like the lighting. I think it's the reveal towards like the big like sound moment we have when Blanc is chasing the guy towards like the graveyard area, and we get that like white cross pattern. Other than that, dude, I never had like a moment in this film that like stood out for me throughout the entirety of this. And I get it, it's 2 months later, but I'm struggling to even remember the ensemble cast. And Knives Out was this iconic film that like it felt like not only a return to the whodunit genre, but it felt like a time capsule into the 2010s of like cinema and stardom in a sense, you know? Like it really felt like these are capturing these actors in this moment, highlighting a moment in their career and their primes, if you will. And none of that just kind of like oozed out of Wake Up Dead Man for me. I don't know. I like this movie less and less. I remember it less and less as time goes on. And Dakari, like your recap, dude, that's as much as I could fucking tell you, if not more, about this movie at this point. Like, I don't know. I really went into this wanting to love it, and I unfortunately didn't love this movie, like at all, dude. Yeah, Dakari, let's hear some of your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, I loved the first Knives Out. It was a very refreshing movie. And I also really enjoyed the second Knives Out. I didn't like it as much as the first, but I thought it was still pretty great.
Cool.
Those films were definitely akin to, the movies of yesteryear, like you said, almost, especially those detective thrillers that, were prominent maybe in like the 80s or 90s, like, they were modern day incarnations of that,
Yeah.
and I appreciated what they were. And I kind of sort of expected the same thing from this movie, but it's just, I'm a little bit conflicted because I enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't.
Fair. Yeah.
I enjoyed it. There was a lot that I took away from it that actually made me think about, a lot of shit when it comes to, religion and modern society, and then how, conservative it's been kept even through people's principles and morals. It's real shit that happens all the time. And there's a lot of things in that movie, and there's a lot of, bits and pieces in that movie that kind of prove that sentiment, even with the murder mystery. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoyed it for that. But I do feel like the movie has a lot going into it. It has a lot. Like, I feel like even though as much as I enjoyed it, I definitely missed some bits and pieces of it because there was just so much going on. There was just so much. It felt convoluted. It very much did. I can't even remember every single thing that happened in the movie. I mean, I can remember the basics, but I can't remember everything. It was just so much going on.
Yeah.
It was just so much. Like, come on, dude. Like, I know you want to be complex and whatnot, but like, just don't try to stay away from creating pseudo distractions in your script in order to enhance the story more. Because that just makes it feel more convoluted.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Even the performances, they just kind of like feel like no one feels like they complement each other in this film, which is something that like Knives Out did so well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Everyone just kind of felt like sloppily, like just we're pasting on like toppings on a pizza. You know what I'm saying? And it gets to a point where the pizza can't cook properly because there's too many fucking toppings on it.
Well,
yeah, I feel you.
I think to that end, I think that actually this acting cast was fairly cohesive and performed like the role they were supposed to perform really, really well. But it was very different than Knives Out and Glass Onion, because in those stories, those people were more like caricatures of what those people would be, whereas these seem like actual just people. Like, you would go to this church like out in the middle of nowhere, and like these would literally be like the congregants. Like, it's not like this like wild, just like zany, over the top like personas of all the people that you have.
That's fair, at least. I'll give them that. Sure.
Yeah, this one is definitely a bit more grounded than the last two, and that's a compliment I can definitely give it.
Sure.
It's very much more grounded.
But while it feels grounded, it in order to have that, I feel like we lose some of the magic of Knives Out. This whole time as well, like, it just feels like Daniel Craig is getting burnt out on Blanc as a character like he did for James Bond at this point. Like, I very much kind of get the energy that he's here for a check. He's just saying his lines. I don't feel the love and passion, and I don't feel the embodiment of Blanc in this one. I don't know. He just felt off to me throughout the entire film.
I mean, the character himself in this one was, talking about, retiring.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But
you know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't really know, obviously, where this franchise will go if it continues beyond this. I imagine it will. I'd like for it to. I think, the Knives Out series, part of its charms is that it is serialized and that each film kind of feels so different from another part of each other. So, like, you know what? If we have this series go on for, hypothetically 5, 6, 7 movies later on the line, I'm okay with some of them not clicking with me per se, in the grand scheme of things. But I don't know. I'd like to see this series continue. I just hope that whatever story we get with 4, something that connects with me a bit more, isn't as preachy necessarily. I don't know. This just to me felt like old man yells at cloud, like Abe Simpson style, but Rian Johnson doing it. And we'll talk about Brick in a second because I got some words to say. But that's where I'm kind of at with Wake Up Dead Man, unfortunately. Brian, let's hear some more of your thoughts on this one before we talk about ratings.
Some more thoughts on this. It is worth noting since the Oscar nominations just came out.
Oh yeah, that too.
Rian Johnson did not get nominated for screenplay for this one. He did get nominated for screenplay for the first 2.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. That's 2 more Oscar nominations than I have. So I can't really speak to that too much. No, like Akari was saying, this one, it was just a lot more grounded, and it felt. I guess I could see where you're coming from, where it was a little bit, I don't know, like lower energy maybe, and I don't think that was really like on Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig is way too good of an actor for him to just like let us know that he's cashing it in. Right?
Sure.
He's too good for that to be the case. But like the energy just of that character was way down, and I think, like I said, that was kind of what threw me. Because I was expecting it to be, this like monumental, like all like clinching thing for him, and like throughout the saying, like he's dealing with his doubts and his like this examination of the church, which was interesting. I really liked some of the characters. I mentioned they're not quite as overblown and over the top, but Josh Brolin was incredible in this. I loved him.
Oh yeah.
I love Thomas Hayden Church, who is like the groundskeeper, like the old like the old guy, the husband, who's just like hanging out in his garage all day. I love that. So I mean, it had a lot of like good, like memorable parts to it. But yeah, again, I think it was a little bit too long, and that's the problem with whodunits is it's a lot of things to keep track of, and when you're trying to keep track of things for like pushing 3 hours, that's just a lot. Like the script for
God damn,
like
dude.
10,000 pages long, right? So.
Holy shit, that runtime is brutal with this movie. Yeah, it is like 2 hours and 40-something minutes, I think. 145 minutes, dude. Jesus Christ. It's brutal. Let's dive into the ratings for this one. Dakari, where are you at with Wake Up Dead Man and Knives Out Mystery?
Like I said, I was kind of expecting what the last 2 were with this one, but surprisingly, this one was surprisingly more modern than those 2. As a matter of fact, way more modern because of how grounded it is. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of just, dwells itself into the environment of, what, a lot of religious scandals are like. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool to see that, but it is convoluted. It is very convoluted. There's way too much happening in the story. Is way too much to just remember and recall. Like, it's just a lot happening. If you're really not paying attention to it, you feel like you'll miss something, But I definitely enjoyed it because of the social commentary, and I feel like a lot of the actors in it were really good and kept me engaged, especially not just Daniel Craig, but Josh O'Connor. He was really good in this. And like you said, Josh Brolin, he was really good in this, and Mila Kunis was surprisingly really good in this too.
I hated Mila Kunis in this. So disagree.
I don't know, man. No, I don't know. I thought she was good. I thought everybody was good in this.
I thought she was better in Bad Moms in this movie, dude. Holy shit.
That's funny. That is hilarious.
Yeah, dude. I've been rewatching a lot of that 70s show lately, so I've been on like a little bit of a Mila Kunis kick. So it's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. On the surface level, it's really nice. But the more you think about it, the more a lot of it might not make a lot of sense because it is a lot happening. I did enjoy it, and it's not something that I wouldn't watch again.
Damn, what was that rating again? What was that rating one more time?
Oh, that was it was a Naboo on the way to Bespin.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, this is a Hoth, dude. This was a fucking this was a fucking turd. I'm not watching this one again. Yeah, I don't know. I got more to say about everything in general once we talk about Brick. So I don't mean just to fluff up the bullshit with Wake Up Dead Man, but like genuinely, like I was very disappointed in this, and I know, my opinion doesn't mean shit in terms of what this means as a series because I didn't watch The Last Entry. I'm sorry for that. I'll get to it at some point eventually still, but like this killed my excitement for where we go forward, if there is a forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think my last whodunit was Death on the Nile. So, 2 for 2, you know what I'm saying? And in the last, 5 years. I'm kind of done right now. So, yeah, this is a Hoth. I like this movie less and less the more I think about it. Originally, I gave this a Hoth on the way to Naboo. And I was really pushing for it to try to be a Naboo when I first saw this. But, yeah, it's a Hoth. Brian, finish this up maybe on a positive note. Or go ahead and just wreck this movie live. Where are you at?
On a positive note, I'm a positive guy, Max. I'm gonna give this a Bespin. I will say that if you take kind of the 3 entries to the series, I don't know if there's going to be any more. I think Rian Johnson said that he was going to need some time off. I think from them because he said they're really hard to write, which makes sense.
It makes sense.
But the first Knives Out came out in 2019. Glass Onion came out in 2022, and then this came out in 2025. And looking back on them, through the lens of time and being alive during those times, all 3 of those films feel very reflective of the year that they came out. So I think that probably could have led to some more of the darker tone here for the 2025 entry and kind of this more insular look at something as opposed to this big, crazy egomaniacal rich guy in Glass Onion, or this infighting of this very wealthy family that we saw in the first Knives Out there. So yeah, so I'm gonna leave it with that. Bespin, like I said, this one I feel like if you asked me to say which one of these movies was the best movie, is probably this one. But was it my favorite of the Knives Out series? It was not. No.
Fair enough. Okay. Let's go ahead and wind it back a little bit and talk about Brick. I did not realize until I was about 15 minutes in this movie or so, this was Rian Johnson's first feature film. I forget who recommended this episode, this pairing, when we were doing the schedule last year for this. But yeah, and I also didn't realize as I was going through, oh shit, I guess I really only seen Looper, Knives Out, Last Jedi, and Wake Up Dead Man before watching Brick. And Brick is about this dude, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who his girlfriend gets killed, and he goes back. He's going through the breadcrumb trail, if you will, and he's kind of gets thrown into this high school crime syndicate that's happening, and yeah, this movie's also fucking bullshit, dude. To be honest with you. I just could not believe what the fuck I was watching. And before we started recording this episode, there was a banter going on in our group chat. I fully blame Naima Saeed for not allowing me to finish this movie because she called me as I had 20 minutes left of this. But you know what? That's okay, because I don't care to finish this movie, to be honest with you.
Wow.
I don't know, man. I don't know. This movie, I can only imagine how awkward it might have been for some people when I showed them my first short film, Ken Dog. And I'm like, hey, will you guys watch this thing? And they're just like, just gonna have this weird, it's, they don't want to hurt my feelings kind of look. I can only imagine that's what a lot of people were giving Rian Johnson of this one, dude. I I've just come to the conclusion straight up. I don't like Rian Johnson. Like, period. I just don't as a director, dude. Like, I've liked things he has done, and that's fair. But, like, I keep putting up this, like, facade in my mind where, like, I like Rian Johnson, and I always try to have this, like, justification for liking part of The Last Jedi kind of thing. I don't like Rian Johnson. I don't. This was so fucking aggravating to watch. There's very, very few times in this podcast where I straight up don't finish the movie or don't care to. And this is one of those. This is just boring as shit. Again, you can have a semi-pretty movie. It doesn't make it good. Did Joseph Gordon-Levitt and this guy go to fucking high school together? Because I have no clue why he's in this movie. No fucking clue. No clue how they built a relationship based off of this performance to even go through and do a movie like Looper, like 6 years later, 12 or 7 years later. So, I don't know. Yeah, that's Brick. I was texting Danilo during this because I was like, dude, what do you fucking see in this guy? Even Danilo was like, yeah, that's a rough one, dude. That's so. Dakari, where are you at with Brick? Rian Johnson's 2005 masterpiece.
Nigga, you gonna fucking laugh at me. I fucking love this movie.
You love this?
Bro, this movie.
Oh my god, dude.
This movie was fucking amazing.
Oh my fucking god.
This movie was really, really good. I really enjoyed this movie, man. I don't know. And that's the crazy part. Because on the surface level, this movie is just the type of movie that would not work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the type of movie that would not work at all. But I don't know what the fuck, like, from the first line of dialogue, I was already, like, engaged and intrigued. I was like, oh, what the hell is this? And then I find out the motherfuckers are in high school. They're in high school trying to solve a fucking murder.
Yeah, dude, but they look worse than Stranger Things season 5, dude. Okay, no one looks like they're in high school.
It was the early to mid 2000s.
I don't care, dude. There's so many better ways to look at that point in time.
Oh my god.
You can't.
Bro, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he literally looks older than he actually was.
A high school kid can't deliver that dialogue. You gotta age it up, Max. Come on.
Yeah,
man.
dude. Michael J. Fox is more of a believable teenager in Teen Wolf and Back to the Future than this shit, dude.
Come on now. Dakari nailed it. This movie's incredible. I don't know what you're on.
No,
about.
man.
Oh my god,
Like,
Brian, let's hear your thoughts on this one too, bro. Go ahead and stack on Dakari.
Brick is amazing, and that's not just me saying that. That's the people at the 2005 Sundance Film Festival who also said that. So there you go. No, I think it's amazing because it is just like this noir film, and it's like so complicated and so layered, and like it's exactly like ripped out of like I don't know, like the 1930s, this crime noir thing, but it's set in this. Tracy. Yeah, exactly. But it's set in this high school, but it's not like a high school story. Like it's just played like a hard-boiled like detective story that's just about these high school kids, and I love it. And I love like the locations that they used. I thought were great. I love the character that Lucas Haas plays in this, and they have like they have like their little like detective like suspect like interrogation kind of scene thing, and it's at like the breakfast table, and Lucas Haas's like mom's like cooking like breakfast or something for him while this is going on. This movie's incredible. What?
Yeah,
it's so good. Dude.
It's so good.
Oh, I fucking hated this.
You have to pay attention to it. Like you can't get interrupted. And with your group chat, you gotta pay attention. There's a lot going on. You gotta focus.
No,
I will admit,
this is something that you really have to.
They're just spitting out words, and you're like, "What? What
there's something. There's something that you. This is something that you really have to pay attention to, because if you're not, then it's gonna feel very serialized, and not in the best way, right? But I don't know. This movie definitely, while having a lot going on, the connective tissue and the layers were there. Everything came together. It wasn't convoluted. Like it wasn't just separate pieces going on in different points of the story. No, it was just a consistent story with twists.
I've seen better mysteries in Walker, Texas Ranger, dude. Like,
Wow.
I fucking hated this thing. I will admit, there is a great scene in this when Joseph Gordon-Levitt gets fucking carjacked, basically, and this car like drives off past like the fucking Walmart or whatever, like mini malls off in the distance, basically busts a U-turn and comes back like charging towards Joseph Gordon-Levitt. We get this standoff back and forth. That's a great scene. That had actual tension. That gave me some anxiety. Other than that, I felt nothing watching this movie. When Naima called me, I felt relieved, and it was my excuse to not have to finish this bullshit, and I won't be finishing it. Yeah, that's Brick for me. I just don't like Rian Johnson. I've come to that conclusion.
Maybe that's why you didn't finish it. It left like an unfinished like feeling in your soul. You have to finish it now.
It left me feeling unfinished, Brian. That's
like when you're
how I felt.
It's like when you're listening to it. It's like when you're in the car and you're listening to a song and you like get where you're going and you have to like sit in your car for like 30 more seconds so the song can end.
No, like 30 more minutes of bullshit, dude. 30 more minutes of fucking Dave Matthews is what I'm having to sit through.
Zakari will tell you that's when everything starts to make sense and you're like, oh yeah, this is mind-blowing.
Exactly.
And he started writing this like in college. That's wild too.
Which is crazy.
I could barely write my own name in college. Still graduating.
Look, dude.
I got.
I've
written some scripts, but
all I've known is what we have all theorized for years in this podcast is it must be fucking true after watching these movies. It is not hard at all to get hired to make a Star Wars movie, and I want one.
Wow.
All right, Filoni.
Wow.
Okay, dude. I now that you're in charge here, buddy boy, I've watched every season of your fucking shows. Give me a movie at this point, dude. Because if Rian Johnson was allowed to kill off Luke Skywalker after making this fucking movie, like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm just not a fan. The way Danilo would feel about M. Night is how I feel about Rian Johnson. I feel like it's a good comparison.
Okay.
Like, I can't keep trying to fool myself into being like, I like his movies. No, I like a couple things he has done. And that's it, dude. Let's bust in the ratings of this one, because I don't even know where to take this episode at this point, dude. Fuck Brick. Fuck Knives Out, dude. Yeah. Wake up, dead man. Wake me up after blowing my brains out from watching these two movies.
God.
This one's brutal. Do not like these.
Bro, dude, chill, bro.
I don't, man. You know what? I'm up first for the rating for this one, man. Fuck this. This is the Jakku on the way to Hoth. I really, really disliked this movie. Like, this...
Can you even get a rating if you didn't watch the movie?
Yeah, I can, Brian.
Dude, man.
Yeah.
Man, those final minutes, bro. Like, come on, bro. Those final minutes are integral. I'm telling you, man.
I'll take your word for it, bud. I'll take your word for it. Dakari, let's hear your final rating for Brick.
This is a Coruscant for me.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude.
This is a Coruscant,
oh,
bro.
Fucking hell. That tells you how our episode 7 podcast will eventually go one day. It'll just, or episode 8,
7 or episode 8?
Episode 8. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. God damn.
Yeah. No, I love this movie, man, and and the crazy thing about it, it's just like as it went along, I didn't know exactly what it was going for until a certain point, and I was just like, oh shit, this is some fucking modern, like coming of age detective story shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is not even supposed to work. It's not supposed to work at all. It didn't work
for me, dude, at all.
You know what I'm saying? This is like if fucking Frank Miller wrote Ferris Bueller's Day Off as a graphic novel.
No, dude, this is like,
you know what I'm saying?
That'd be amazing.
This
dude,
is
you
if,
see what I'm saying?
Fucking...
Like this is crazy.
No, Dakari nailed it. I mean, it keeps you like wondering the whole time.
Yeah,
the whole time.
Yeah, it keeps you wondering why the hell I'm watching this still, dude.
And then it just like mic drops on this big twist. At the very, very end of the movie?
At the very end of the fucking movie. He's like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
Corey, give me a rating for this one, dude. I want
Me? I'm gonna give this best spin on the way to Coruscant.
Wow.
This shit was great, man.
So we got and Dakar, yours was a Coruscant, correct?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, you guys are nuts. Holy shit.
I give Justice League 1927 or whatever you called it. I give that one a Jakku.
1927.
That movie's awful, dude. I wasn't defending that movie. Trust me, that was fucking dog shit. But yeah, that wraps it up for Rian Johnson this week, our good fellow, beloved director that we just can't get enough of here on this podcast. Just like we can't get enough of Jared Leto as well. So yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Only the best here at Galaxy of Film, dude. Only the best here. Brian, it's been a pleasure getting you on here like always. It's been too damn long since you've been on here last. So it's always good to get you back on here for a refresher. Where can our listeners find you and Drink the Movies if they don't follow you guys already?
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you so much for having me on. Max, I always have a great time coming on and chatting some movies with you guys. So I appreciate that and appreciate everyone who's listened. If you want to catch up with me, you can find Drink the Movies on wherever you're listening to this or watching this, any of those places. And then it's Drink the Movies on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, all your social medias right there. You can check out. We're on to our 253rd episode.
Oh, shit.
So that's pretty good.
Wow,
we just started doing some video versions of the podcast here this past month. So we're trying to do like one of those a month just to branch out a little bit and have a little bit different format just every few weeks just to change it up a little bit and keep things a little bit fresh. So
got to love it, dude. Hell yeah. Links down below, of course, for our listeners. Go ahead and check our friends out over there. Love you, Michaela, of course. Brian, we'll get you back on here in the future to talk some more shit about Rian Johnson at some point in our lives.
She would have defended Brick even harder than Dakari and I. She loves Brick.
Dude, I can't argue against Michaela though.
We covered it, episode 39. We were still like pretty new at doing it.
Oh wow, that's funny, dude. Yeah, I can't fucking argue with Michaela. I get like the sweetest text from her. I can't like. It's like punching like. It's like punching like a Care Bear,
you said
dude.
About Brick. Cry. I'd be sad.
Can't do that. God damn it, guys. Only the best here at Galaxy of Film. Letting people down, of course.
Yeah, man.
Just like Rian Johnson let me down with both these movies. And like he let me down in 2017 with The Last Jedi. But that's enough bitching about Rian Johnson for this time. Next week on the podcast, we're going to be talking about some Paul Thomas Anderson, taking a look back finally at one battle after another since that got pulled in my theater over here in this town in Idaho, since a bunch of white supremacists live out here and don't like to have real movies. So yeah, finally getting a chance to watch that next week. We'll have a nice little Paul Thomas Anderson double feature, so stay tuned, guys. If you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving us an iTunes or Spotify review or subscribing here on YouTube. It truly does help with the show much more than you can imagine. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Peace.
You can find all our other podcast, original films, articles, and music on our website, galaxyofilm.com. We're also on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and you can join our Patreon for exclusive content and our Facebook fan club for early access to our films.